Hi, this is Alexander Morentin with BetterLivingWithWholeFoods.com. Today we're bringing you the 13th in a series of readings and discussions from my book, Better Living with Whole Foods. So we're going to finish chapter 3 today and discuss what are processed and refined foods, why are foods processed and refined, and also what are the major culprits in processed and refined foods. Okay, so when talking about processed and refined foods, we generally think of processed and refined flour, sugar, and salt. These are also known as the white devils. However, as you will soon discover, there are many other types of foods that undergo harmful refining processes. It's estimated that more than 90% of all foods available today are processed and refined. When a food has been processed and refined, it's stripped of all its vital nutrients, including the vitamins, minerals, and enzymes that help your body break down and utilize them. In many cases, processed foods will also be treated with a variety of harmful chemicals. Processed and refined foods are basically a poison to your body. Why are foods processed and refined? There are a variety of reasons that the big corporations process foods. On the top of the list is money. Take a look at the food advertisements that the media subjects us to. Almost all of these ads are promoting processed foods. Yes, there's a ton of money being made off of processed and refined foods. And that's true. You look everywhere you look, it's all about processed and refined foods. Every ad, especially the ads that are geared towards kids, you rarely see ads for like, hey, buy some bananas or buy a piece of broccoli. The majority of the ads that you actually see are for processed and refined foods because that's where all the money is. So other reasons for processing foods include longer shelf life, texture, flavor, color, and odor. Longer shelf life. It's interesting to note that whole foods will spoil much quicker than processed and refined foods. A loaf of sprouted whole grain bread will have a shelf life of approximately 1 week. A loaf of your typical processed and refined bread will have a shelf life of approximately 2 to 3 weeks or longer. Texture and flavor. The texture and flavor of processed and refined grains, sugars, and fats are very unique. The way these foods feel on your tongue and taste in your mouth light up pleasure centers in your brain. This makes them very addictive. The problem with this is the fact that the pleasure that these comfort foods give you is short-lived. This causes a vicious cycle that leaves you unsatisfied and wanting more. Sound familiar? Note, when you start eating healthy whole foods, your taste buds will change. Foods once thought of as delicious will start to taste strange. Your body will start to crave the nutrients contained in the whole foods you are giving it. At first, it won't seem like this is possible, but given a chance, you'll be on your way to living a healthy, vibrant life. And that's what we all are looking for and striving for, isn't it? Color. Almost all processed and refined foods will have their color altered in order to make them more appealing to the human eye. These non-foods have an undesirable appearance after they have gone through their processing, so they are either bleached or treated with food coloring or both. Odor. The processing of foods will oftentimes cause them to turn rancid and foul-smelling. These denatured foods must go through further deodorizing processes, such as bleaching, to give them a more pleasant odor. So what are the main culprits in processed foods? Processed and refined grains, processed and refined sugars, processed and refined vegetable and plant oils, pasteurization, such as pasteurized milk and other food items that we'll talk about in the rest of the book. Also chemical additives or preservatives. So we'll discuss each of these in detail throughout this course, because each of them, deserves their own little spotlight. Will you still need a mortician when you die? Okay, this is something that's really, really interesting right here. A friend of mine who was going through mortician school at the time told me that morticians today use very little, if any, embalming fluid on their deceased clients when preparing them for their funerals. Okay, reason being, they're already preserved from all of the chemical preservatives in the food they've eaten. Okay, so that should tell you something right there. You know, that morticians are using very little, if any, embalming fluid because the bodies that they're working on are already preserved from the chemical additives and preservatives in the food that we eat. That should tell you something right there. That's amazing, you know. And there's no reason, good reason for processing and refining foods, other than to give them longer shelf life, make them more desirable. Because of that, you know, people tell me, I tell them to buy the better types of breads or the better whatever it is, even vegetables and fruits and stuff. All that stuff goes bad too quick, and I have to go to the store. It's like, well, go to the store every 3 days. Go to the store once a week. It's not going to kill you, you know. But eating this stuff will. It'll make your eating processed and refined foods lowers your quality of life so much, and wreaks havoc on your body so much. It's unbelievable. But they have addictive things put inside of them that make you want them and crave them, and it really is an amazing. It just is this vicious downward spiral, and that's what I hope to sort of get you away from and get you towards eating the more healthy whole foods that are described in this book. It's, you know, it's good for you, it's good for your loved ones, and it's going to do a lot towards helping you lead a happy, vibrant life throughout your entire life. As we like to say, you know, it's not that we're trying to make you live longer per se. You know, that's not really what it's all about. It's about having the quality of your life while you are here on planet Earth be full of joy and happiness, free of sickness and disease. You know, not having to be an elderly person where you have a full-time job filling your prescriptions and going to doctors. You know, I know too many elderly people like that are on 6, 7, 10 different medications, and it's just, you know, they all of their life savings are just used up by pharmaceutical corporations and everything else, you know, in the medical community, and they're forced to lower their quality of food they eat because of this, and they eat these processed and refined foods, and it's just that more of that downward spiral, and it's just so disgusting to me, you know. Eating healthier, eating more vibrant foods, the whole foods, is what's going to help you keep healthy and happy, and that's what I want for you, you know. So again, this is Alexander Morentin, author, Better Living with Whole Foods. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.